Manchester United have entered the race for Casemiro and Moise Caicedo from Brighton. This comes after the breaking news that Man United are no longer chasing, pursuing, or talking to Adrien Rabiot after the player demanded wages north of £400,000 per week. Man United were prepared to make him one of the highest paid players at the football club, but the player and his agent, of course his mother, Veronica Rabiot, pushed the envelope too far, and as it stands right now, the deal is off. But Man United turned their attention elsewhere, a long shot in the potential pursuit of Casemiro, as we've already discussed on the Football Terrace this afternoon. But Pedro Neto, Caicedo, now on the agenda for Manchester United. Better quality signings indeed, better profile of player, Premier League proven, two of them as well. We know how good Casemiro is, but it is a long shot. I want your thoughts and feelings. Get your comments in right about now. Smash that like and share button. Let's go! It has certainly been a topsy-turvy transfer window so far for Manchester United. I don't think you can get away from it. I don't think you can deny it. I don't think even the most diehard Manchester United fan could say they are satisfied. They may defend it blindly. They may defend it astutely. They may be raging and angry, whatever it may be. I don't think anybody is calm, cool, and collected anymore with what is going on. But what an amazing week it has been. Arnautovic and Rabiot looked at as the potential saviours of Man United's summer transfer window. Manchester United fans angry, fuming, annoyed, kind of in a feeling of despair had set in many ways. These guys aren't good enough. How are we going to progress? What are we going to do? This is just not Manchester United. That was the thought. That was the feeling. Then we get the breaking news that Man United are no longer looking at Rabiot, which we'll delve into in a little bit more detail. But here you can see via Sky Sports, one of the first outlets to report on this. But Manchester United are looking at Caicedo from Brighton. This is a deal that nobody really saw coming, but it's certainly a deal that Manchester United should have been looking at. It's certainly a deal that Manchester United should be interested in. It's certainly a deal that Manchester United should have been pursuing. I mean, in fact, they were looking at him in January. But of course, the club decided to not go forward. Brighton did. They landed the player. They now find themselves with an asset that could bring them in anything from 35 to 55 to 60 million pounds. David Ornstein has reported that Manchester United, of course, are no longer looking at Rabiot. And in his report, though, he has stated that it's seen as almost, and I want to actually quote him right here. I don't want to use the wrong word in this. He says it's improbable that Manchester United would be able to sign Frankie de Jong. They are looking, and it is now officially confirmed that they are live in talks over an approach for Casemiro. Now, Casemiro is a very hard deal for Man United to get done. But you start looking at Casemiro's, you start looking at Caicedo's, and suddenly you're talking business again. And this isn't me having a U-turn. Glazers are still running this club terribly. The fact that we're on the 16th of August and we're only just now turning to quality like Caicedo, quality like Casemiro is shocking. This is something Man United could have done sooner. More money should have been spent. Maybe the story is today that the manager is potentially looking to pull away, quit maybe. Maybe these types of things are now kind of coming to fruition. Maybe now they're being seen. Maybe now that the club realizes, hang on a minute, like we could really find ourselves in a bit of trouble here. We could really find ourselves in a situation where this quality manager leaves and we're kind of left, you know, excuse the phrase, but left with our dicks in our hand looking very, very stupid indeed. And I want to put what Tom McDermott said earlier on today, and I want to show it all to you so you can see. He stated that at this stage, Ten Hag is not thinking about leaving his position. But if things don't change, there's a feeling that he could ask to leave. That only came out this afternoon. And I'm not someone that's going to do a U-turn. Even if we were to sign Pedro Neto that we're linked to, even if we sign CAICEDO, even if we sign Casemiro. I mean, you actually look at that. If you actually, if 4 weeks ago we'd signed CAICEDO, Casemiro, Pedro Neto, Martinez, Ericsson, and Malacia, if we had those 6 players 3 or 4 weeks ago, Man United fans would probably be a little calmer. If we'd have moved a player on or two that didn't want to be at the football club, Man United fans would probably be a little bit calmer, probably be in a better mood, probably a little bit more relaxed, irrespective of the results thus far. There is still going to be an element of frustration. Could have bought CAICEDO for £4.5 million in January. We're probably going to spend 10 times that amount of money on him now. That is Glazer-nomics. The irony is you'll get rivals and Glazer simps that will come out and say, oh, you spent £40 million on a midfielder. What are you moaning about? They may not say that right in this moment, but in 2, 3, 4 years' time, when all these stories are forgotten, he'll be looked at, oh, they spent 40, 50 million pounds on a midfielder. You've got to be happy. No, could have got him 6 months earlier. 7 months as things stand right now. 7 months earlier for 4.5 million. That is how terribly run Man United is. The way we get to these signings is poor. On Casemiro, listen, I said earlier on the stream, I stand by it. I'm not going to change my tune and become a turncoat. I'm not sure about this deal. How much money are we going to have to pay him in wages? Does he really want to be here? Is he coming for a retirement plan? How dedicated is he to the Man United cause? The one positive thing I would say about the Rabiot situation is he walked away because they felt the player was coming for the wrong reasons, here to make as much money as possible rather than buying into what we're trying to do. There is a quantum of solace. There is a slither of kind of hope and integrity, but only a small amount. I'm not going to say every little process, every little thing we do is wrong and negative. If I see something that's positive, I will call it out. I will state it, because that is a kind of man that I am. But these are better deals. These are better players. I don't think you can get away from it whatsoever. And you think about CAICEDO, top class holding stroke defensive midfield player, an individual that, listen, a lot of people in the Premier League rate, a lot of people in the Premier League, you know, I've said some very, very, very good things about indeed. And he's a player that, you know, I would really like to see come to Manchester United without a shadow of a doubt. I think there's so much talent in there. I think there's so much quality in there. He covers the, you know, the areas of the pitch that Manchester United need. That left-hand side of the midfield is absolutely imperative. And you can see that if you look at his kind of heat maps here via SofaScore. You can go down. I mean, he only played 8 times last season, but you can already see, you know, good level of interceptions, good amount of tackles, 1 per game, no errors leading to shots and goals. Excellent at what he does. You know, very, very good at that indeed. Decent pass completion. You know, doesn't really create chances. You know, possession lost under 10 times per game. You can afford that into the opening couple of games of this season. And I want to show it to you. Again, very much similar areas of the football pitch. I mean, things have jumped up a level so far this year. 2.5 interceptions per game, 4 tackles per game, as an example. Possession lost a slightly lower amount. You know, this is a very, very, very talented player at what he does. And the great thing is, as you can see, he's very, very young. You know, there's still a long way to go with this player. And I know it's going to be expensive. I know we should have done it another time. But if we're going to put 40, 50 million pounds into a midfielder, let's buy someone that is at least good. Let's not waste that on wages and a £20 million fee for Rabiot. If we're going to let James Garner leave the football club, it's got to be for a player that we think is going to be better, and better by a long, long way. Casemiro said it earlier on. If he wants to come for the right reasons, it's a decent contract, decent transfer fee. 2 or 3 years, that could be a very, very good player for Man United, no doubt. Again, superior to everything we've got. Maybe you're not going to get CAICEDO and Casemiro because of the roles that they both play. You maybe not going to get both, but one of those two improves us. You then look at the deal for Pedro Neto. Now, Pedro Neto is an individual that, again, I like. We're not the only team in for him. That needs to be said. Man United are not the only team looking at Pedro Neto. I believe Arsenal are looking at him. Chelsea are looking at him. And it's seemingly, you know, it's been reported that he has become available. You can see here, shared by the brilliant Simon Phillips, the information via Graham Bailey, that Pedro Neto could become available become deadline day target for a number of Premier League clubs. Arsenal, Chelsea, Man United amongst the clubs informed about his potential availability. This is very much a player, again, Man United should be looking to bring in. You stick him into those wide areas, you know, he's energetic, he's confident, he takes people on, he's got technique, he can beat a man, break a line. Man United need more of that. Are these signings, though, and I want to end by saying this, are these signings going to improve the move massively at Man United? A little bit. Are they going to be the difference between where we are now and where we want to be? No, but they're better than what we've got. They're positive signings. They're signings the fans would get behind. They're signings we believe would be able to play Eric Ten Hag's style of football. And it appears the club is putting its hand in its pocket for the right people rather than the wrong ones. No attitude attached to any of these players that we're linked to. Great work ethics, winning mentalities in Casemiro. But I do want your thoughts and I do want your feelings. What do you feel is going to happen? How do you think these deals are going to go? Make sure you're smashing the like and the share buttons for us. Very, very important that you do it. But Man United finally looking at some decent alternatives to Frankie de Jong. Take care. Goodbye. God bless. See you soon.